left turn, and a left downwind. Cessna over the threshold, coming up on the white dot, at or beyond the white dot, left turn first available. I got a high wind coming up on about a half-mile final, clear to land at or beyond. Traffic on the left face, you're following a Cessna down low off your left. Square it up just a little bit, and then we're going to get you in. Start your descent, though. Start your descent on the base. Traffic on final, give me follow on base. Base traffic, start turning toward the numbers now. High wing coming up on quarter-mile final, take it all the way down to the green. Cessna taxiing on the green, expedite down to the next hard surface. Get me some speed. There you go. Go, 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 go fast. This is going to be good. I got traffic on a mile final. You're following traffic ahead and to your right. High wing coming up on the threshold. Take it all the way down to the green dot.
5 Charlie Sierra, 2 mile final.
A mile final, turn north, and we're going to just make you, we're going to bring you back around. Jet traffic's coming up on about a mile and a half final, runway 9er clear to land.
Okay, all right, let's listen up, guys. If you're on final for runway 9, I want you to offset to the left. I got a jet that's landing on runway 9. The jet's cleared to land runway 9 if you can make it. If not, just continue straight ahead. It looks like you're going around for the jet. That's fine, that's fine, that's fine.
Oh, we had one right in front of us, sir.
Dragger. Let's see. What we got? A tricycle. Tricycle, put it down. Tricycle, put it down. Tricycle, put it down. Tail dragger, down to the green dot, then a left turn. Short final here. You click land on 9 all the way to the white dot. Go down to the white dot. Find somebody to follow out here. Canard, just come to the runway, and I might have to just send you around. That'll be fine. And for the jet, you just want to stay in this pattern, or you want to go back out for an instrument approach?
Stay in a pattern, Charlie Sierra.
All right, just stay with me here for a minute. And my tail dragger, let's see, over the numbers, go down to the green. And Canard's going to have to go around. Canard, go around. Canard, go around. Canard, go around. And my high wing here over the runway, keep it airborne. Keep it airborne. You do not descend. Do not descend. You got a fast guy behind you. Do not descend. There you go. Keep it airborne. Keep it airborne. As soon as the guy behind you gets slowed down, I'm going to put you down. So keep it airborne. The one that just passed the white dot, make a left turn on the hard surface. All right, my high wing tail dragger, you can put it down now. You can put it down now. And Charlie Sierra, let me get you about a mile off. Let's see, Charlie Sierra, lost. There you are. Make a left-hand turn. I'll try to resequence you here on the downwinds. We'll see how it looks. Short final, you're clear to land runway 9 on the white dot. Clear to land on the white dot. There you go. And the tricycle left on the hard surface and follow the flagman. Welcome. Thanks for being part of the show. And let's see, just find somebody to follow out follow on the final, and as you get close to the runway, if it's not going to work, we're going to send you around and then try to re-sequence you. Now, who else got sent around that's not back on the downwind? The Canard?
Yeah, Canard.
All right, Canard, there's a Gulfstream up there that went around too. I just lost sight of him, but you're going to make kind of a left-hand turn and stay low. I think Charlie Sierra, what's your altitude?
3,200.
Okay, that'll be fine. Just maintain VFR. I don't know what else is up there above you. Probably most everybody's down here, so just make a left-hand turn. We'll try to get you back here.
Canard's got the jet in sight.
Okay, the RV, maybe an RV-10, whatever, here on final. Keep your speed up and go all the way down to the, aim for the green dot for me. Actually, keep your speed up. There's a guy behind you. Aim for the green dot, and I'm sure that's plenty of room for you to land on runway 9. You're clear to land on runway 9. Number 2, you're going to go down to the white dot. Follow the white dot. Actually, you know what? That's 1,500 feet. You're going to land at the white dot. The spacing looks adequate here. 2 guys on final. You're kind of tight there. Keep each other in sight, and you're going to aim for the white dot. If it's not going to work, we'll come up with a plan B. We might have to send you around. The second guy behind you out there in about a 2-mile final. Are you slow enough to be able to follow that guy in front of you? You need to go around. Well, I probably shouldn't ask that because I had about 5 guys answer me, so I should know better than that after 35 years, you would think, right? All right, so let me see. The guy who's number 1, it's number 1. What kind of airplane is he? An RV type. All right, RV type. Keep it airborne for me. Keep it airborne. And I got a fast guy behind you. The number 2 guy over the trees there. Go ahead and put it down on the numbers. Put it down on the numbers. My first guy just coming up on the numbers at the over the grass at the numbers. I want you to keep it.
T-minus 1 minute and counting.
Hello.
Four, three, two, one.
Hello.
Hello, everybody, and thank you very much for joining us on this
bloody sunny, lovely Thursday evening where everyone should be out flying. But I've forgotten it's England, so everyone rolls up the runway and takes it home and stops you flying in loads of airports, don't they? What was that funny noise? Okay, so first thing, I need to apologise to everybody who was watching the members live stream yesterday afternoon as I was walking down Piccadilly thinking, hey, this is cool, isn't it? I'll leave them to it now. And then managed to end the whole transmission, which I think has been known in Sega publishing language as doing a Dave. Known as doing an Ian. So, Johnny, it's just you and Ed left to do that.
I'm sure we will.
We'll keep that in reserve.
I apologise for that. You can't see him, but we can. Sebastian Pooley is here, waiting to talk to us later. He's sitting in the green room, having a good time, making sure he's looking good. He's waving at us. Thank you, Sebastian. I know. It's much easier on a desktop. I just got it wrong on a phone.
That's it.
It's hard to do on a desktop. Shouldn't say that really. Anyway, back to this show. I would like to thank. There's going to be some Aero coverage in here, so we should just give a little shout out to Continental Aerospace Technologies, who supported that very nicely. Thank you very much, Continental Aerospace Technologies. That would be. But also to Skydemon. Skydemon support the live stream, as you know. And they have got a tip, which is a great one this week, coming from Tim Dawson. I didn't know this one myself, but there you go. Let's have a look.
Hi, I'm Tim from Skydemon. Welcome to today's top tip. When you have a route planned in Skydemon, virtual radar at the bottom of the screen is a really powerful tool to see the terrain and airspace your route is going through. But did you know you can make it bigger and smaller? Put your finger in the margin here and scroll up to make it bigger. This also works to make it smaller than it is by default. And you can do the same thing when you're in flight. For more information on any of our features, go to skydemon.aero and choose Help and Support.
I think it's fair to say that possibly in the history of all the Skydemon tips, lots of minds have just been blown, because it's like, you can make the bar bigger.
I know. But in the early days of Skydemon, and when Skydemon first came out, I'd occasionally send Tim an email going, it'd be great if we could do this, wouldn't it? And he'd send me one back going, it can. You just have to do it. It just got too embarrassing after a while, and I resourced reading the manual. But yeah, that was a very good thing. So there you go. Thank you very much, Skydemon and Tim, for supporting the show and the live stream. So what have we got next? We haven't got Simon live. We've got a recording from Simon, and I think he's got a half decent excuse this week. So let's have a look at the weather and see what we've got coming up this weekend.
Evening all. Sorry I can't be with you again this evening. I promise I'll be back live with you next week, but I don't think Mrs. Weatherschool would be very happy if I was with you this evening. It's our wedding anniversary, you see. So I'm taking time out to make sure that I give you your forecast. This is how things look for Friday. We got fronts moving their way southwards during the course of Friday, bringing some cloud, bringing some rain across Scotland, across much of Ireland, across much of northern England. A typical cloud bases you see here from the cloud base forecast, those green, orange, red colours there, showing us that generally bases less than 2,000 feet and some hill fog across northern England, much of Scotland. Getting better in the far northwest of Scotland later as the northwesterly flow just lifts the bases there a little bit. Across East Anglia and the south of England, we've got a flyable morning, bases above 4,000 feet, some decent broken cloud, but this front is going to be edging its way southeastwards through the course of the afternoon, lowering cloud, bringing rain probably to that sort of line by about 3 o'clock in the afternoon on Friday. The breeze increasing from the west as well, looking at westerlies probably about 15 to 18 knots for most, so it's not horrendous, but it's just the breeze picking up. Now, as we get in towards Saturday, got the remnants of an old front just lying down these eastern coasts, bring some cloud across eastern Scotland, eastern parts of England. Not expecting anything too horrendous. Base is about 2,000 feet, tops on that probably at about 6,000 feet. Elsewhere, maybe a little bit of low cloud just getting into the Wash and northern parts of East Anglia for a time, but that should clear away. And then most areas actually are going to be enjoying a fair day. Broken cloud And I think base is typically at about 3,000 to 4,000 feet, and the top's probably at about 7,000 feet. Interestingly, just note these red colours here through the Irish Sea and along these eastern coasts. This is just low stratus cloud and fog that could be in those areas. So just be aware of that if you are thinking about going further afield. And then on to Sunday, high pressure off towards the east on Sunday. May just find one or two bits of low cloud developing through the channel. Be careful with that. And also, again, through the Irish Sea, you see here these red colours shown on the cloud ceiling forecast, and again here through the English Channel. So just be aware of that. But for most of us, actually, Sunday looks to be a decent day, decent flying conditions, bases of around 4,000 feet plus tops at about 8,000 foot. Weak occluded front just moving its way eastwards through Ireland. So here, lowering the bases, bringing more cloud, typically about 2,000 feet, and the tops at around 7,000 to 10,000 feet. Perhaps a little bit of rain associated with that occluded front as well. But overall, Sunday looking a pretty darn decent day. So if you are planning on flying this weekend, hopefully you have a good and a safe one. If you want to know more about weather though, and kind of get yourself beyond the PPL and the understandings of the PPL so that you actually have a good idea of what the weather is going to be doing. And when you look at forecasts, you can kind of say, yeah, I trust that or not. You need to get yourself along to Aviation Weather School Part 1. So my next Aviation Weather School, and it's for all pilots, regardless of experience, from students through to commercial pilots, all of those do Aviation Weather School. So if you want to come along, it's on the consecutive Saturday mornings of the 14th and 21st of May between 09:30 and 12:30 hours. This one presented live online by me. And what happens is that after each session, you get a recording of each of those sessions. So you can go back and watch it again for up to a week afterwards. So it's the perfect way to learn all about weather. I'll teach you how you can plan up to 5 days in advance to spot weather windows, how you can forecast cloud bases, cloud tops, the winds more effectively as well, and basically make your flying more enjoyable. Go to weatherschool.co.uk for more information, and I look forward to seeing you there. Okay, I will leave you with that for now. Have a great evening, guys, and I shall see you live next week. Bye for now.
I just waved at him.
See, Simon, yeah, a whole load of people in the comments saying that I'm 8-bit Ian, which I think is reference to that. Yeah, there you go, 8-bit Ian, which reference to that Netflix show, I think, isn't it? Upload, something like that. I can't remember. I haven't seen that one yet. Anyway, I've done everything I can. I think it's bandwidth thing. I'm sorry. Am I still 8-bit Ian here?
You're looking good.
You've got more pixels than you had.
I have more pictures than I had. Let's hope it stays like that, shall we? Good. In that case, let's hand the bandwidth over to Dave, who's going to tell us all about. Well, what are you going to tell us all about, Dave?
Well, I'm going to tell you about what we call the June 2022 issue or compilation. So, you're about to board an airliner or a ship or something like that, and you want something to read. Flyer, of course. But you can't browse our shiny new website packed full of great content while flying and offline. So what do? You download the latest compilation of content from the magazine page. Available now is what we call the June issue, which contains most of the articles that we've uploaded to the website over the past 4 weeks. Yeah, there's things like the Aero Friedrichshafen report, pages and pages of it. There's Simon, who's just been on, Simon's 10 tips for spring weather planning. There's a great feature by Jerry Parr, engineer, about reviving your aircraft after a long winter, sort of essential maintenance. There's all our columnists, including Ian, who's writing about Part M Night, amongst other things. There's all the regular stuff, such as First Solo, this time a US travel TV journalist called Kelly Edwards, who used her aircraft to take her to the scene of her broadcast. I get paid for this. It's a chap called Brian Sakima, whose day job is flying a fuel pump, a big one called a Stratotanker, but his hobby is flying a B-25 Warbird. And then there's accident analysis and reports, my new safety editor, Cat Burton, and much, much more. So the idea is that we have the June issue, which is a PDF. You can download it and you can read it on any device and you can take it with you. So if you're offline, read it. But of course, the best way to consume the content on Flyer is on the website, because then it's bang up to date. It contains much more multimedia and it's a bit more fun, really.
And hopefully you've seen it all already. You've been browsing for the last 4 weeks. So actually, if you're reading it via the PDF, you're late.
Yeah, so basically, just to cut long story short, you can kind of imagine that before we were all like squirrels, getting stuffing all these acorns in our mouth. And then like every 4 weeks we go, blah, and there'd be like a magazine. And now we deliver. I nearly said something really embarrassing then. I'm going to stop myself. We deliver you acorns, lovely acorns every single day. Great quality acorns for you to read and consume and enjoy every single day. More content than you would have got in the magazine. And then we collate it for you at the end and we produce it in a PDF. And I think it's PDF something like 128-page issue, isn't it?
179.
179?
Yes.
Yeah, that's shocking for you to consume offline if you really have to consume it offline. So that's how that works. So there's a post in the forums about that and a few other bits.
That's it. And if you want to read the PDF, you can, and it is, because it's a vertical scrolling device, it's a vertical scrolling production. It's a lot easier to consume than the old page turner PDF.
Yes.
But really, you're doing yourself a disservice. Read it online. It's great.
Yeah. And of course, the stuff online is completely fully searchable, and you can go and look at different tags and stuff like that. You can see all of the flight tests, and all of the back issues become like a searchable database of everything that we had before, because we basically we stuck, I think, about 18 months worth up there at the moment, and we're gradually adding to that as time goes on. So that's great to do that. Thank you very much, Dave. Just a small correction, not Part M light, because that's boring. Part 21 light, because that's
Oh, bloody hell, I've written that down somewhere. I have to go and change it.
Cut a long story short, Part 21 light is all about manufacturer approval. And it used to be in the past that you could get an aircraft certified, but you really struggled to get the production approval for your factory, because Part 21 lights for those. The Part 21 was a big, kludgy EASA regulation about building aircraft that was applied to really commercial world. Part 21 light, you can actually self-declare, except we can't because we're not part of the EASA anymore. But the CA, I believe, is looking at it, so we'll see. Anyway, it sounds more boring than it really is, which is still really quite boring. But that's great. Ed, give us a Aero roundup of numbers and things.
Yes, very quickly. John Park, obviously, unlike last week when we were all together, I was synced. I'm now probably a little bit out of sync again. So back to normal for me. But yes, Aero 2022 was a great success. We loved it. It was fantastic to be there. We'll hear from Sebastian later, who was also there, and I think he had a great show. And the organisers are saying it's a great success for them too. General Aviation, they're saying General Aviation is optimistic about the challenges of the future. And everything on show presented a wide range of solutions for safety and sustainability over 4 days. Some headline numbers, there were 27,700 visitors from 75 nations, which is massive. 633 exhibitors over 4 days of the fair. Klaus Wellman, Managing Director of Messe Friedrichshafen, said the joy of seeing each other again shone throughout Aero. They've set the date for next year already, and it's going to be April the 19th to the 22nd in Friedrichshafen again. Something we didn't mention in our roundup last week, and more new news, was the newest version of the P2010 from Tecnam, the Grand Lasso. Think Grand Tourer with luxurious trim levels throughout the cabin, and you won't go far wrong. Dave, do you know a little bit about this?
Okay, spring it on me. Yes, this is the P2010. The one they showed was the TDI version, which has got the Continental 170 horsepower turbo diesel fitted. We didn't actually spot this until right at the end of the show, or our time at the show. So I haven't got a great deal of detail on this. I'm assuming that it's going to be available for all three types of power unit they offer. But looking at it, it's all very nice. It's finished in lovely leather, good stitching. There's little carbon fiber inserts in various places, such as in the middle of the yokes. You can probably just about see it there. It's a beautiful aircraft. Of course, it's got that whole modern Garmin display there. It's a lovely aircraft. It was
a very sniff-worthy interior. For those of you who know Johnny and his aeroplane sniffing tendencies,
I missed out on that actually. So
I have to
go to the factory.
Yeah, you would have liked that.
Yeah. I think we got a press release from Tecnam actually the other day, which was yesterday or today, I can't remember. An astounding number. They said at the show they took orders for 85 aircraft. 85 aircraft,
which is amazing.
Yeah,
absolutely amazing. And one other thing from Aero that I'd like to point out, and he appeared in the comments right at the top of the show. We met a live stream super fan from Poland. Carol Brenter, it was fantastic to meet you, and thanks for saying hi, and thanks for being a super fan from so far away.
Absolutely. We actually had a whole bunch of people come and talk to us up at Aero as well, and at Popham the next day. So that was jolly good. Dave, I think you're up. No. I've skipped Johnny there, who's kind of looking wistfully out the window, wondering what's happening. Johnny, talk to us about aerobatic pilots of the future.
Yeah, so British Aerobatics, which is the national governing body for sport aerobatics, they've been thinking, how do we bring pilots up to the usual high standards of winning gold medals in world championships? So they've come up with a plan called their Advanced Training Scheme. And the two first successful candidates of the scheme, you can go and read on the website, are Jamie Williams and Ben Filer. I'll get back to you on that one. But the scheme itself is basically aimed at accelerating their abilities and developing them to get to the unlimited level, and then representing Team GBR throughout the 3 World Championship levels that do exist. There's 4 categories in the UK if you want to compete in aerobatics, and there's 3 in the World Championships. So yeah, we'll keep an eye on what they're doing. You can go and follow British Aerobatics on Facebook and Twitter, or we'll be reporting on it throughout the year to get more information from them. But they're basically going to be pushing them hard and giving them some support and development to try and make sure they can be hitting those gold medals. So no pressure.
Wouldn't it be fantastic if Sport England got behind supporting something like that?
Yeah, and Tom Cassels is going to be teaching them apparently, and Tom is, former competitor at World Championship level. Runs a great aerobatic flying school, and he's a hell of a chap to do the teaching.
We've got a volunteer. Jordan Penning says, when I get enough PIC time, I definitely want to enter that.
Yeah,
something they've been doing in France for years, isn't it? They have lots of junior training camps and stuff like that, which is why all the French champions are like 12. And
junior training camps and lots of the and the Air Force and Army de l'Air and all of that. They all select and train the best, don't they? And they all get filtered down, and so
absolutely. Dave, you're up next.
Yes. Okay. Did you want to talk about Popham Microlife Trade Fair at all, or are we ignoring that? Okay.
No, we're not ignoring it. Where did that go down? I think we were going to talk about a little bit in the videos thing at the end.
Okay, right. Okay. So the next story is it's about 10 aircraft that took some medical supplies for Ukraine. It's a Cirrus specialist at London Oxford Airport, CK Aviation. CK stands for Charlie Kimball. They recently organised a convoy of 10 aircraft to airlift medical supplies to Ukraine. There were 9 Cirrus SR-22s and 1 Diamond DA-42 twin. They started from Southend, where all the medical supplies were gathered. And if you look at some of the pictures in the story, they are packed aircraft. Charlie Kimball said, "I've never seen a Cirrus so full." And there's a picture in there of somebody, a friend called Isabel, doing a weight and balance check by the look of it. They flew 2 tons of supplies to a place called Lubin on the Poland-Ukraine border, and they were taken further on into Ukraine by car. So, nice little story, I think.
Fantastic. Well done, guys.
Yeah.
Nice one. Okay, so I'm up next. We're talking about private flyer at Wickham. It's not this weekend, it's next weekend, isn't it?
It's next weekend. That's it, yeah. And Jordan Penning says, will we be there?
Possibly.
The question is, we'll get back to you on that. The answer is probably. We haven't got a stand. We'll probably go there and do some video stuff. But I'm at the moment I'm supposed to be elsewhere that weekend, so we'll see what happens there. But so it's not this weekend; it's next weekend. So things they've asked us to tell you: it is going to be the biggest private flyer so far. It is going to be the largest display of exhibition aircraft in the UK. I don't think they're quite counting Farnborough in that, but if you dismiss Farnborough, it's the largest. they are very much hoping to have Zara there. We bumped into Zara over at Friedrichshafen, as you'll know, and Zara should be at Private Flyer coming over to collect an award. They have 100 exhibitors coming. I'll come back to that in a second. And for those of you that like sims, there are fixed wing and rotary sims available with prizes to be won. Wrong mouse. There you go. There's a picture of the site map. So there you can see a whole load of things. Now, I suggest you go along to Private Flyer, and if you're a member of the club, which you should be, you'll get a 20% discount on the gate or a 50% discount on your landing fee, and you should have had an email from young Johnny with the codes to use. I looked at this and I saw there's a hangar full of elite events and 2 hangars full of golf shows. And for all of those 3 hangars, I would personally rather stick red hot pins in my eyes than go into any of those, to be honest with you. But there'll be plenty of aviation for you to enjoy and get on there. I don't know if Sebastian's going or not, but we'll find out from Sebastian later. Sebastian is going. I've got a thumbs up. You go and see Pooley's. And that would be worth going just for that, really, wouldn't it? I mean, but, you know, give the golfing and that elite bollocks a rest. It's just... No one needs that. No one needs that.
Hello, people at British Golf. Yes, we appreciate you're a sport too, and we love you.
I don't.
No.
How can you find time to play golf and go flying?
Yes, Martin Lusby says there's only 1 slot left on Friday, and it's for 8:30.
Set the alarm.
We'll be driving then.
Might set the alarm. We might have to. Yeah, that'd be interesting. Well, if we can somehow go, we might have to see if we can't. Don't you know who I am? Can I have a slot, please? Okay, no, drive.
Yeah.
I'm a big golfer. You could have had a slot, but no, you can't. You're gonna walk in, sucker.
Yes.
Anyway, there you go. So no, it's going to be a great show. Go along. Make sure you go see Sebastian Pooley at Pooley's and everybody else there, but don't bother with the golf stuff. Right, Ed, you want to talk about some YouTube videos that people can see?
YouTube videos, and there's a lot. So at the top of our, if you go on to the flyer.co.uk website and click on the Flyer TV channel, you'll find a whole bunch of videos. Obviously, there's our video from Pop and Microlight Trade Fair, where we were there on Saturday. Plus, there's masses and masses of material from Aero Friedrichshafen with tours around the halls, video interviews with Pipistrel on their tie-up with Textron, the latest from Cirrus, Continental Aircraft Technologies, Full Flight, Junkers Aircraft, TechNam, our live stream from my hotel room. Spoiler alert, if you haven't seen it, all 4 of us are in the same place at one time. So that was a surprise. But like I said, head to flyer.co.uk and click on Flyer TV to find lots of videos. And if you search for Aero 2022 as a tag, you can get all the Aero coverage as well, delivered on one screen.
Absolutely. And here's just a small, short taster. This is not the full pop-on video. This is just a small, short taster of one we put together from the full one. So that's on there as well.
Woodswick traffic, November 681 Echo.
Runway 03, left-hand sir.
Caution, too slow. Too slow.
You may be thinking we're in Friedrichshafen, but actually we got back last night, wasn't it? About 10:30.
So this is cool. It's the Pulse SSDR. So here at Popham with Ray Everett and the Foxbat Vixen, and there's some great news.
John Delafield, founder of LX Aviation and LX Avionics, was standing in front of the WT9 Dynamic.
Okay, so we're here at Popham with Roger Cornwell of Ascent Industries. Roger, can you tell us, bring us up to date with things happening with the Sportstar SLM? And I'll ask you a little bit in a moment about the Eurofox, but first, Sportstar.
Well, there you go. That was, you got a Beetle on you.
There we go. There you go.
There you go. That was the Mopham Microlight Trade Fair.
Try again.
The Popham Microlight Trade Fair.
I enjoyed that. Good to see so many people.
Yeah, I enjoyed the Mop and Microlight Trade Fair.
And that was with special music, because we got a few people in the comments on our YouTube thing going, lose the porn star music, and all we could figure out was, what kind of porn are you guys watching? I mean, so I put that music specially in, really, just for you. But there you go. Johnny,
Oh yeah, right. Quick plea for help for Steph Smith, who I think is watching. I've seen her in the comments somewhere. She's got a lovely rear wing, and she's after a tacho for it. Now it's got an amazing on the left there, that big instrument. It's got an amazing original vintage tacho, which appears to be like sort of. It must be the only one in the country, and it's broken at the moment. And she's after a new one. So if anyone out there has seen one knocking around or knows where she might be able to get one, just get in touch and we can put her in the right direction.
It's really weird because it reads backwards. And who's ever seen this an RPM gauge that's like the size of a dinner plate?
Well, I need to say that, but early Porsche 911s have a tacho just like that.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. But yeah, no, if anyone can help Steph, we can refer, and she's there, and she says thanks.
Well, we hope you get a new one. Otherwise, you just have to put in a Garmin G3X or something, which even I think wouldn't look quite right.
But that wouldn't
find a
solve
Porsche 911.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which sounds fine to me. Right. Last question. Where's Mac?
Not sure. Who knows?
Is he last seen in Greece?
Yes.
The airplane's definitely in Greece. He must be. I don't know.
We asked Sarah what we saw last week, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yes.
And she said Greece.
Yeah. We said where's Mac? And she's like, and she did point out that it was awfully unfair that she spent a long time in Russia. Is it Russia or Alaska?
Both.
Both.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Well, you know what time it is, don't you? It's time to get Sebastian Pooley on. Are you ready, Sebastian? Here you go.
It's like aviation royalty.
Pretty so silly, honestly. It seems like yesterday that I saw you all in Friedrichshafen.
Yeah,
really was.
We've really just about recovered, haven't we?
Yeah, just about. So, did you have a good show?
We did. We had a phenomenal show. It was the best Friedrichshafen we've ever done, and gosh, wasn't it good to be back there after 3 years and to catch up with so many people, and and suddenly it felt like it was yesterday. It was like time hadn't passed. It was brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
This time last week, we were all looking forward to our currywurst.
Yeah.
Well, I noticed Johnny in the hotel in Ed's hotel room that he was drinking a beer but had to cover the label up. Is that obviously there's some sort of anti-competition thing there going on?
No, I don't think they didn't offer to sponsor us for beer, unfortunately. So we decided to spite them by covering the label up.
Love it. No, but we're an amazing show, absolutely amazing show, and we were delighted. Yeah, we put a lot of effort into it. We thought the stand it was the biggest stand we'd ever had. Got a lot of positive comments from people coming past. Johnny came past and sniffed our leather gloves, which is great. So that was
can confirm they're good.
Yeah,
they smell great.
Absolutely, good quality product. And we were. The worst thing of the whole week was that I was right next to the black shape stand, and was looking at that beautiful Gabriel, and really wanted to buy it. But then Johnny informs me that the price, I think, was what do you say it was? $750,000.
That spec one, yeah, $750,000.
Yeah. So I think the Pooley's Lotto Syndicate is going to have to come up trumps to afford that one.
Yeah, surely you just increased the cost of the flight guide, right?
Well, I think by quite a substantial amount.
So, are you going to private? You're exhibiting at Private Flyer then? Yeah.
Yeah, we've got a really busy few weeks coming up now. So Private Flyer is obviously next week. So that's Friday and Saturday. The following week is the Pooley's Air Day. Well, it's actually the Pooley's Air Day weekend. We're doing 2 days this time, and the invitation for that will be going out to our customers tomorrow. So please look out for that. We'd love to see you down there. We've got our friends from Bose and Garmin joining us for that one. So that should be good. There's a prize draw. If you can't make it to the event, there is a prize draw. We're giving away a Bose A20, a Garmin X10 watch, and a Pooley's gift voucher.
That's at Compton, Sebastian.
Say again, Dave?
Compton Abbas, is it?
That is at Compton Abbas. Yeah. We've been doing it at Compton for, must be 25 years plus now. I mean, they're a great team down there. They look after us very, very well. So yes, 2 days. So you've got the choice of a Saturday or a Sunday. So, but the slots do tend to go pretty quickly. we're limited probably to about 100-120 aircraft each day. So and in a good year, if the weather's right, we'll meet that. So apart from the prize draw, very exciting news from us. We won an award, a Bose Award this year, for our marketing efforts to promote their brand. So I'm hoping that the trophy, I've been told it is a trophy, and I'm hoping that that'll arrive before the event, and Patrick from Bose will be there, and I'm going to see whether we can do a little handover. So we'll have that, and yes, we'll obviously be doing the prize, drawing the names for our 3 prizes in the prize draw. So that one's good. And then we've got Private Flyer up at Leeds, of course. We've got France Air Expo in Lyon. There is there's Aero South Africa that we'll be exhibiting at as well, and we've got some new products that we're launching for the Southern African market. So a new series of PPL training manuals for that. So yeah, it's a busy 6-8 weeks.
Very good. Yeah. Very good. Right. So we invited you on to talk about Dawn to Dusk, which we'll get to in a second. But before we get to Dawn to Dusk, I think we should probably just take the time to celebrate your anniversary, not your personal anniversary, that is, the Pooley's anniversary. I guess it is your personal anniversary, really, isn't it? Unless you change your name to... you sent these through earlier, and I was having a look, and this is the first flight guide I think that you found, the Air Touring Guide in Europe, 1962, compiled and edited by Robert Pooley, and then the Air Touring Flight Guide, United Kingdom, 1964. That's my best BBC news announcer voice, by the way. So it's been a bit of a long. Which year were you born in, Seb? Actually,
okay, so I'm only 43 in a couple of days. So I was born in '79. So I missed those first few years, but I mean it's 65 years. It's been quite a journey, quite an adventure, I mean Robert blazed a trail really in so many areas of training in the UK. And which we all benefit from today. There's the series of air pilots manuals that I mean I couldn't even guess anymore how many people they've used them to learn to fly over the years, not just in the UK but across Europe and into Africa, Middle East, Southeast Asia, and of course Trevor Tom, who originally wrote them, was Australian, so they have their own version of the books in Australia and New Zealand. But of course, your favourite, Ian, the CRP5, the CRP1. There we go. Yeah, so that is a few years ago. That's Robert at Singapore Flying College, and he was doing a tour of schools, they asked him if he could sign their CRP5, so he duly did. But Singapore Flying College, one of our oldest customers, been customer of ours since the 1960s. And Robert always tells a story about how you used to be able to, walk down the steps at the airport there at crikey, well, it's not Changi, it was the old one, Seletar. And he used to be able to cross the taxiway or the runway, walk into the flying school. He'd get his trunks on, go for a swim in the pool, sell them some CRP5s, and walk back across the runway and up the steps and back on the aircraft for the next leg of his trip. So much has changed. But CRP5 is still around.
I'm sure the CRP5 has been very good to Pooley's over the years.
Yeah, I mean, of course it has, absolutely. I've got staff members that have been with us for 50 years. And they're still made in our factory in Cranfield, and they're still made by, I mean, Sheila, she's been with us for 50 years plus now. I don't know how many CRP5s she has made and how many pilots she has helped to learn to fly, but her fair hands have been on a fair few. There's a good team of people up at Cranfield who still build CRP5s by hand.
I know we've spoken about this before, and we really, really, really will get around to doing it. But we're going to come up and make a video of like a CRP5 is born.
You must. That'd be fantastic.
I mean, I think it's great for you. I think it's. I think they're ridiculous in 2022, but that's just the way it is, isn't it?
As Richard Kennedy says, it's a good use for a CRP. I'll have to bring mine with me on my travels to collect signatures.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Right. So let's just talk me through a couple of let's just show a quick before we move on, quick picture of Rob doing his latest thing.
Oh yes, yeah. So when I got involved in the aviation business, he decided that he would get involved in ceremonial swords. And if you think aviation is a niche market, try ceremonial swords. But he's an entrepreneur at heart, and he absolutely went for it. So Wilkinson Sword, who we all know, been manufacturing swords for 200 plus years, and the brand had been sold to various multinationals over the years, and I guess they kept it on, but eventually they decided, this is a loss maker. There's no point in keeping it on. So he went around various auction houses and he bought up lots of assets from Wilkinson Sword, and he started it. And initially, he started Pooley Sword, and initially they were buying all of their stuff in from India or it was India, because you couldn't buy this stuff in from anywhere else, probably China as well. But he spent a lot of time working with people up in Sheffield to develop the techniques to create the blades out of British steel. So the blades that you see on the infantry swords that he now sells are British, which is fantastic. So yeah, he's done an amazing job. And in fact, I don't know whether you can just see behind my head here, but there is a sword just here.
I was about to say, is that a sword behind you?
It is. I got that out of a stone. No, this is one that that we present to Oxford Aviation Academy, and this is for their top students. So it's just been polished and brought back to life, and it's going to be presented at their next graduation. So yeah. But there's a few. I mean, you'll notice there's a few that pop up around the industry. AOPA present one for the best general aviation airfield every year. I think the last winner was Sandown, and also the Honourable Company of Air Pilots. They present one at their annual trophies and awards dinner. So yeah, there's a few around.
Can we expect to see a combination of sword and CRP5 in the future?
We've got to do that test, haven't we? Dun, 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 sword versus CRP5.
Well, perhaps when you come up to Cranfield, we'll see whether we can make it happen.
Jolly good. Well, now you've finished polishing your sword, let's have a look at Dawn to Dusk.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a fantastic competition, and it's kind of what you're here to talk about. So give us a little bit of the history, because you also sent this picture over. What's the story behind that then?
So the Dawn to Dusk competition came about between a conversation with Prince Philip, Duke of Edinburgh, and Norman Jones, who was the chairman of the Tiger Club back in the time. So we must be talking 1963, somewhere around that time. And the first competition was in 1964, and it was very, very simple. You had to take off from Red Hill. You had to arrive back at Red Hill. You had to fly turbulent, which is why that picture was included. And you had to see how far you could get in the hours between dawn and dusk. So they did this for the first 3 years, and this is all going terribly well. And then somebody landed very late into Red Hill and never taxied in. So they sent the fire truck out to see what was going on. And they got to the aircraft, and there was a guy asleep at the controls. And the guy said to him, what do you last remember? And he said, well, I remember being on final. And they thought, right, okay, this could go very wrong when people are going to push themselves to this limit. So they changed the rules, and so we have the modern set of rules, which are fairly unchanged ever since. So the idea is, you take your aircraft, whatever that is, and it could be anything. We've had everything, obviously, from fixed wing to rotary. We've had gliders, gyros. We even had a guy during COVID do it in his flight simulator, which wasn't technically a proper entry, but bravo to him for giving it a go. And you pick a theme. So pick something that you enjoy, something that you're passionate about. We've had people pick, Spitfire RAF stations or things connected to Spitfires. Vulcans. It could be something historical. It could be flying around the coast of the UK. Anything, and it's not a UK competition, as it said in that little picture. It's an international competition. So for those international viewers tuning in, especially your friend from who you met in Freedom Star from Poland, anybody can join in. And last year we had entries in from Spain, from Australia, as well as from the UK. We've had New Zealand, Canada, and the US, etc., Germany. So yeah, anybody from any country can join. I think that's sort of a very basic brief.
And you kind of, when you've entered it, you have to submit a log with a kind of story, and some people go to extraordinary lengths to create almost small books about it, whereas other people would just send in their route sheets and some pictures and stuff like that. It's completely open.
Absolutely. I think there was one entry this is before my time as a judge, and somebody submitted 2 huge volumes. And this was a Canadian entry, and they were doing the history of fur trapping, and they flew the route that the fur trappers would have taken, and the detail and the research that they put into it was quite phenomenal, and it was such a good history that it actually ended up in the University, I think, of Winnipeg, as sort of the go-to history of fur trapping. Amazing. As you say, there's been some amazing entries over the years. I mean, we had a lot of recent ones have included picture books. I mean, it's been a lot easier in the last decade for people to produce really high quality picture books from their Mac and their PC these days, and they make for some phenomenal entries. So beautiful photography is a real key part of it. So yeah, once you submit your entry, or once you fly your entry, you write up the log, and then you submit it to the judges for them to have a good look at. And then we have a dinner. So the dinner is normally held at the end of January, beginning of February at the RAF Club every year. All the entrants are invited along. The judges come along, and it's a really good opportunity for people to discuss their entries. Swap ideas, and obviously there's some prizes that we hand out at the dinner.
And there are some quite good prizes, as well as a sword, I believe.
Yes.
There's money as well. And
Absolutely, they are. David said Nick Orchard, she was a Pooley Sword Dawn to Dust winner. And we had, I don't know whether you had the picture of the Duke of Edinburgh trophy, Ian, but...
I didn't. I got that picture, but it was too small. I couldn't make it look nice on the screen, I'm afraid. But it's a beautiful trophy.
There are. I mean, the top 3 trophies. I mean, all of them. They are absolutely beautiful, and it was donated by the Duke of Edinburgh for the competition. And a few years ago, we also added some cash prizes. So you've got the first place is now £1,000, second place £500, third place £250. But what's lovely about this competition? A lot of people do it they have a charitable aspect to their entry. So, I mean, we've had people raising money for air ambulances, Save the Children. And actually, if they win the prize, inevitably, they donate the prize money to the charity that they supported. And I think that's fantastic.
So if you got all these prizes, and it sounds like it is a great cause, as we all know, how much does it cost to enter?
It is free to enter. So it used to cost £30, but we scrubbed that. Pooley sponsors it. We cover the cost of the administration, etc. I mean, all you need to do is go onto the website. There's right at the bottom of the Pooley's website, there's a Dawn to Dusk banner. If you click on that, you'll find a how to enter page. Fill in the short online form there. We'll then send you a slightly more detailed form to complete and an email back to us or post back to us. And then you're in. And then it's, obviously, we hope that you'll then have the opportunity to fly your entry. Obviously British weather being what it is, for those flying in the UK, do have a couple of extra days in your pocket, for weather weather dependencies. Fly it, enjoy it, and write up that log and submit it in.
It's a fantastic competition. It's free to enter. You can go and do some really interesting stuff. You can use the time towards your Flyer 2022 and 2022 challenge minutes. it's a whole bunch of fun to actually create the log. The journey is the reward. You might win some money, which you might choose to donate or not, as the case may be. And there's no reason not to do it. Add something interesting and fascinating to your flying, I would say.
Yeah, and I think I've noticed with some flying schools that they actually have it as part. Flying schools that have a wings program, they actually add it into their wings program, so that if you enter the Dawn to Dusk competition, it counts towards your your gold or platinum wings. And the other lovely thing about it is that often once you've done it, we get people coming back time and again. And I think the record now is 6 entries from Mike Roberts at Take Flight Aviation. He keeps coming back for more, and it's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And he encourages other people to enter it as well. The other thing that people
turbulent in the early days.
Say that again.
He probably entered in the turbulent in the early days.
Yeah, probably. But here, a lot of some people also go for Guinness World Records, and we've had quite a few of those recently, and they've been successful in achieving those. So please, spread the word as we're doing today. Tell everybody about it. Get some entries in, and enjoy the flying. But that is the fantastic part of it. Do a bit of flying that you've never done before, and use it as an opportunity to enhance your flying. And we look forward to receiving your logs. And Ian, you're one of the judges on the competition. There's some really interesting stuff that comes in.
Yeah, on that judging thing, Sebastian, there was an entry, I think last year or the year before, which I found out from the people who put it in. They supplied everything in a box, and inside that box was a curly whirly. And that curly whirly didn't make it it wasn't in the box when I got to judge the stuff in the box. So if you're going to enter and influence the judges, there needs to be enough curly whirlies in the box for the judges.
Yeah, so 5 curly whirlies are a necessity, and I can only say sorry. Tim Dawson clearly took the curly whirlies before they got to you, Ian. That's what it was.
Brilliant. Well, seriously, everybody, enter. It's a fantastic competition. It's a great dinner if you can make the dinner as well. We did actually live stream it last year, and I think the plan would be to live stream it again this year. We can do a jolly good job with that. So yeah, enter the competition. Come and have a lot of fun.
Yes.
There's a very important question. Stuart Rue says, I'm curious. I had a CRP3 for my PPL, a CRP5 for my CPL. What happened to the CRP4?
Okay, no, good question, Stuart. So actually, to be fair, I don't know of a CRP3 ever existing. For the PPL, it's the CRP1. There was never a 2 or a 3. The CRP4 is a very basic microlight flight computer, and then there's a 5 that for your CPL, ATPL. There's a 6, which is just a circular flight computer. There's no slide on that one, and then there is a 8 and also a 9. So there you go. There are various different versions of it.
What number's the really big one?
Well, the demonstration one. Yeah. That's a CRP. Well, CRP1 D demo basically, or a CRP5 D. Yeah.
Can you imagine turning up your PPL test?
You can't use that in an actual aircraft.
I don't think you want to be taking that onto the aircraft. No. We took one to Friedrichshafen, and luckily, a school from the Netherlands took it away from us, as well as a couple of our red demonstration aircraft. So that was a big relief. We didn't have to pack those back.
Those red demonstration aeroplanes. It's always in like an alternative reality when Poolies decide to go out into the aircraft industry. Can you imagine if you come up with it's like your red aeroplane made full scale with a Rotax on it?
Oh, fantastic! Well, somebody come up with it; it'd be absolutely brilliant. And I have to say, those red aircraft, you see them around the schools, and people redesign them. They paint them in their own paint scheme, and it's maybe we should have a photo competition to see what designs people have come up with on their red aircraft.
I think someone should make a radio controlled version.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Yeah. Although not with the ones that we have produced, because I think they're pretty weighty. You'd have to probably have a Rotax in it just to get those airborne. They're brilliant. And we said we had a few years ago, we had a new guy produce them, and we said to him, well, we'll probably sell 10 a year or something. And here we are, 10 years later, and he's got a fleet of about 500 he's gone through so far. So, it's amazing. They continue to sell very, very well. I don't know whether it's because people decide they want to throw them across the classroom and they end up breaking, but yeah, they do get around.
Brilliant. Well, Sebastian, I don't know if anyone's got any more questions, but if not, thank you very much for joining us. It's been a pleasure talking to you as usual. Look forward to seeing you at an event at some stage, which I'm sure we will. Obviously, everybody out there, get those entries in for the Dawn to Dusk. Great thing. You got nothing to do. Go do some interesting stuff with your flying.
Fantastic. And you're all welcome to the Pooley's Air Day. So, get your names down sharpish. That'd be great.
We look forward to that. Thank you very much, Sebastian.
Brilliant. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you.
Thanks, Sebastian. You too. Bye.
Bye.
Ed wins. Ed wins. Ed wins.
We need to get rid of that.
I need to rename that because I've got like 3 fantasy hanger things here. We got the Bond one.
That does live up to its name.
Gonna have to do a Top Gun one soon, aren't we?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Coming soon to a fancy hangar near you, the Top Gun edition.
Top Gun edition. Oh, very good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But for this week, it's all about aerobatic aeroplanes. So on the basis that we heard that aerobatics is a hot topic in the news, that got us thinking about our favourite aerobatic aeroplanes. And Johnny spiced it up by going, hey, let's go looking in the classifieds. So it was off for a trawl of A4s, Barnstormers, Trader Plane, Plane Check, and all of those. And who's turned up what? So obviously, if you've got a suggestion, stick it in the comments. But who's first?
I think Johnny should go first, as soon as it was his idea, or he.
Yeah, go for it. So I picked a 1989. They do still make them, but 1989 Waco YMF5, and this is for sale at the moment from a bloke called Brian King in Sarasota, Florida, and he's asking just $179,000 for it. And I think Ed, I'll need your help here. These are all 3-seaters, aren't they?
They are all 3-seaters. I don't know if you could do aerobatics with all 3 seats filled, but you certainly can. You can enjoy aerobatics 2 up.
Exactly, and so basically, you could go flying, do some aerobatics. You could maybe take 1 or 2 judges with you, so they can actually judge you from the cockpit rather than with a pair of binoculars.
I think it's going to be very leisurely aerobatics in that, isn't it?
Oh yeah, this would be like club level. That club's the bottom category, isn't it?
More like G&T level, I think, possibly.
Yeah, maybe they need a gentleman's category for really slow, casual aeros. But yeah, I think it would make an interesting aeroplane to rock up at a competition with.
Does it come with pipe slippers and the Daily Mail?
It's a lovely aeroplane. But the Waco owners will come and get you, Johnny, if you call it a Waco.
Oh, is it Waco? Oh, Waco, Waco, Waco.
Waco.
Waco, as in taco.
Yeah.
Dave, I'm going to put you in next.
Okay, so first of all, I wanted to find an aircraft which was a 2-seater, mainly because if you're going to go aerobatics, you need to take a friend up, or in my case, I need to take an instructor up. So it had to be a 2-seater. And when I went looking, I found a brand new 2022 model of this. Is that picture up there yet? Yes, it is. Yep, that picture is. It's a Great Lakes 2T-1A-2. So a Great Lakes biplane. They're made these days by Waco Aircraft, and brand new is available for £214,000. If you insist on a second-hand model, I found a 1976 aircraft for sale in Germany, costing 5 Bitcoin. The price point,
really?
Apparently about 150k at the moment, but that's anyway. It's a nice little airplane, 2 seats, modest aerobatics, I'd say. But the Great Lakes has a fantastic backstory. It's now owned and run by Waco as part of the Dieter Morzek Aviation empire. It was originally designed and built from 1929 to 1936, and it holds the record for the most outside loops. Still, a chap called Tex Rankin, who was a well-known stunt pilot at the time, 131 outside loops, and he did it in 1931. And when the factory closed in 36, a chap called it all went hiding in a safe somewhere. All the plans and IP, intellectual property, went hiding in a safe. But a chap called Harvey Swack, who was a lawyer, found the plans and somehow managed to get the IP, the intellectual property, and started selling the plans to home builders. Somebody put it into production in the 1970s. It all changed hands a few times before Waco took it on board. So there's a good backstory to the Great Lakes.
There was a very lovely brand new Great Lakes on the Junkers stand. Unsurprisingly, belongs to Dieter Morzek. So, Johnny and I chatted to Peggy Valentine, who is Dieter's. She handles sales and marketing for Junkers and has the tough job of flying both aeroplanes around Europe. And she liked the Great Lakes, thought it was great fun, but still preferred the Waco with the big radial.
I think having flown a Great Lakes in Florida and the Waco was an amphibious one, so it doesn't quite compare. I can kind of see that the Great Lakes is probably a little bit, I don't know, it's probably a little bit, maybe a little bit less intimidating as well, but perhaps, I don't know, not quite as gentle. A strange combination of aircraft. You probably need one of each, I would suggest. Is the way to go. I haven't got any great backstory with this. I haven't got anything else with this. My choice. I'm going to leave you to go last, Ed, as we predicted that you might win, but we'll see. We'll see. I've gone for something a little bit French, a little bit contemporary, you could say. I've gone for a Captain C, beautiful little side-by-side, high-performing, aerobatic, training, fun, tail dragger airplane. It's an honest airplane. They fly beautifully. They're more capable than I'll ever need an airplane to be. They're never going to go up against an extra or anything like that. But then, my skills and endurance in aerobatics is never going to need that either. So I think you could go for a croissant in one of those, or you could go for a loop in one of those, and it would be just an absolutely beautiful airplane to drag out of the hangar, fire up, and go and blow the cobwebs away, or clear your mind after a long day sat at the screen, or something like that. So this particular one's available, I think, 155,000 euros. I saw it for, but there's a whole bunch of Captains around. So that would be my choice. Not going to set the world alight, but it's just does what it does really well.
I don't know. They are lovely aeroplanes. I would really like to. I've flown a few hours in a Cap-10, and I would really like to try the new production one where they put the constant speed prop on it, because I think that must really change it quite a lot. So, but even the old 10s are just great aerobatic airplanes. So
yeah.
We should get over to the factory and see if they've got one that you can go play with.
Yeah, maybe so.
Yeah.
So that just leaves
you, Ed.
That just leaves me. And someone. So we did aerobatic airplanes in the very early days of Fancy Hangar when there was just 3 of us. And someone suggested Jungmeister. I couldn't find the Jungmeister for sale, but when we did it first time around, I did pick Jungmeister, and it was a winning choice. This time around, I figured I would. Whenever you think of aerobatics, you always think of something in particular, and in my mind, the Pitts S1 always pops up. So I was trawling the classifieds, and on Barnstormers, I found this beauty. It's a 1987 factory-built Pitts S1T, 200 horse, constant speed, smoke system, and a classic Pitts paint scheme. I'd like to own a Pitts one day. I'd probably only like to own a Pitts for like a month to scratch that particular itch, and then probably sell it on. I just think it's a bit a pits would be lovely to have. It's single seat. I'm going the other way today. It's like, actually, I don't want to take anyone else along because I know what it's like to fly aerobatics and be sat there while someone else does it, and it makes me ill. So it's like, I'll just subject myself to it and no one else. But I think that could be good fun as long as I'm not too terrified by the landing.
I was going to say, I would spend the whole flight going, I'm going to fill out everything now, aren't I? So how are we doing in the comments then?
So it's a good mix. So going back, Jeff Bridges says, has to be a good old slim trainer. You need to find one in the classifieds, Jeff. John Schrobb said, I flew in a 1938 Waco trainer in Key West.
Wow.
Nick Allen says, Bucky Youngmeister, you try finding one, Nick.
Can we just highlight Adrian's comment, please?
I would be fine if I will find it as I scroll down through. Ian wins. It has a heater, and I wouldn't be scared of landing it. It's very. They're still the 10 is still quite a challenging aeroplane to land because if you flare it completely, if you flare it using all back stick, it tends to kind of overflare. The French Air Force, which had them on their training fleet for many, many years, used to say if their students could fly the Cap 10 well, they would fly anything else in the Air Force inventory equally well. So I always thought that spoke very highly of the Cap 10. What else we got? James P. Airbus driver, very specific, Kristen Eagle, Golf India X-ray, India. It must be for sale.
James P. is probably selling it.
Yeah.
Actually, I discovered a great place to look at aerobatic aircraft for sale, and that's on the website of British Aerobatics. They've got a whole section of aircraft for sale.
Well, that's probably, I hadn't even thought about that. Kristen Eagle goes it currently for sale, says Charlie Parker. Oh, Ed Annie and Win. Who's someone else is clicking at the same time as me?
Me.
Stop.
I was just being selective when I clicked. Okay.
Okay. Dave White says, I nearly lost my only prescription sunglasses for 6,000 miles in an inverted Great Lakes over Arizona. An outside loop would have made that a certainty. So Julian Treadwell says, Stamp SV4. A Stomp is a good choice, but I couldn't find any for sale. Ian wins despite the biplane factor. Ian winning so far. Ian leading so far. Ian winning. Wow. Nipper for pure fun. Pits S1S for value for money. I think there might have been a Nipper recently on A4s, but it may have sold. Too obviously, Hicks has hiccuped. Ian wins. Ian wins. It's. I think it could definitely be. Yeah. See, that Pitts is pretty, but Ian still wins. Mike says extra 300L is an obvious choice. John Park, clearly Ed wins. John, I think you're in a minority with me. Charlie Parker, Ed wins. Pitt's fabulous, Ian wins. So Stuart Rue says, get a two-seater and don't take anyone else up with you, Ed, unless you need to. And Stuart, I should point out, has a beautiful and mildly aerobatic aeroplane because he has a Falco, which would be another good choice. So
we were walking around.
So
walking around Popham, and people are coming up to him and going, Ed wins. Ed wins.
Yeah. It is slightly weird. Melanie Moxon says, Warco wins. Charlie Parker, Edwards. It is weird now. You go, it's like I can be out at an airfield and people do randomly walk up and go, Ed wins. It's like.
When I first heard it, I thought someone thinks he's called Edwin, but no, it was Ed wins.
So it is. Oh, and thank you. There we go. Ed wins from Carroll Aviation. Yeah. So I think it's an astounding win for the Cap, and that is a good choice. A very excellent aerobatic aeroplane. But if you don't want to do aerobatics, also very good at everything else.
Yep.
Yeah. Let me try the Cap 10 in the pits. I'm happier landing the Cap 10, says Adrian. Yeah, I think I'd be happy landing the Cap 10 rather than the pits, to be honest. Okay. Well, thank you very much, everyone, for partaking in that. Let's move swiftly on to the next thing, which is events. We got some events, I believe.
Yep. Events are coming thick and fast now. So this Saturday, the spot landing competition at Kilkeel in Ireland, Northern Ireland. VE Day at Duxford. Vintage Saturday at Compton Abbas. Ladies' Day at Bodmin. And there's a microlight flying at Sutton Meadows in Cambridgeshire. Looking ahead, on the 21st of May, there's a stole competition at Slape. And it's a weird one, this, I just thought I'd pop it in. 3rd to the 5th of June, the EAA in Sweden, that's the Swedish version of the LAA, are having their annual flying at a place called Falköping. At least I think that's how you say it.
Falköping, right. Mark Saunders has just put badminton on Saturday. I'm not sure. Is that the horse stuff going on?
Yeah, that's the horse trials. It's like, I think
The horse trials. Would you like to guess how much the landing fee is at Badminton Airstrip for the horse trials?
I reckon
20.
30.
Dave, would you like to throw something in here?
I have no idea. Probably very expensive. So I'll probably say, about 45.
None of you are close. It's £60.
£60
plus plus individual entry tickets.
It's a 40 quid entry ticket, isn't it?
Somewhere around that, and a lot of it's sold out. So, but yeah, £60 to land if you go to Badminton.
Just picking up a comment there. There are some more events. This is just a selection. If you look on the website, there's a whole lot more events on there as well.
And also, Whiskey Alpha Pilot reminds us there's the Flyer Student Meetup at Duxford on Saturday, which I'm sure if you go on the Flyer Forum, you'll find a thread about that.
And there's obviously also the, as we've heard, there's the Pooley's Air Day coming up at Compton Abbas, and there's Private Flyer next weekend. Not this weekend coming, weekend after that. So loads and loads of stuff going on.
Very good. Catkin says badminton's the only place I've been checked. Now that is
Wow.
They probably thought you were illegally bringing somebody in, I imagine.
That's it. Nick Allen's got the good badminton horse trials joke, and they find horses guilty every year.
Right, Johnny.
Well done. Yeah, join the site. Join the Flyer Club. £30 for the year at the moment. We're just ironing out last few bits, and then we'll be setting a deadline for the paywall to come down. And once it comes down, it'll be £52 for the year for the club, and £30 if you just want to read the content. So to save yourself, you may as well just pay the £30 now and join the club anyway. Just go to fly.co.uk/membership for that.
Absolutely. Great. Well, I think that is it. We have just gone, we've nipped over by 7 minutes, so not too bad. So thank you very much, everybody. Thank you very much. There's Sebastian still there, so we'll bring him in. Thank you very much, Sebastian. We look forward to seeing club members next Wednesday afternoon for the live stream extra, next Thursday for the live stream proper, and obviously Private Flyer the weekend after that, and all sorts of other bits and pieces. So on that basis, let me get my little thing ready to come back here. Thank you very much, everyone. Have a great weekend flying. Enjoy yourselves.
Fly safe, everyone.
Bye.